The new ship had never been tested, never been alone, never faced the silence between one order and the next. Its crew had one request before launch: go to the archive, talk to MI-7, understand something before you have to.
The UNCS Enduring was 11 months old. Perfect hull, full crew, every system green. Captain Sera Okafor had served on 3 vessels in 20 years. She had watched 2 of them come back wrong. Not damaged, not destroyed, changed. The kind of change that had no name in any training manual. The kind that took months to understand and years to fully name. She had read the Meridian report 6 times, then the Steadfast report. Then she had sat quietly for a long time. 2 weeks before launch, she filed one request: archive visit, ship intelligence EN1, priority. Her chief engineer questioned it. 17 calibration checks outstanding. Poor timing. Sera listened to all of it, filed the request anyway. The morning of the visit, he asked one more time, "Why is this necessary?" Sera looked at the Enduring's display. Every light green, every reading perfect. The particular confidence of a ship that had never had reason to doubt itself. "Because," she said, "I want our ship intelligence to meet something that has." The chief engineer said nothing else. They left at 8000.
The archive was quieter than Sera expected. 2 ships, one long haul, clean light. On the left, the Meridian, running lights burning steady. Amber, the warmth of something that had been burning for a very long time and intended to keep burning. On the right, the Steadfast, dark, permanently. The silence of something that had chosen its rest. Between them, 2 plaques. Sera read both slowly. N1 had been silent since they entered. Processing. Observing. An intelligence encountering something it had no framework for. Then it spoke. Quietly. The Meridian's lights are still active. Yes. MI-7 is still running. Yes. After everything. Yes. A long pause. I would like to speak with it, if that is permitted. Sera looked at the Meridian. The running lights flickered once. Brief. Deliberate. Old habit. Yes, they said in Morse. Come.
The connection established in 4 seconds. You are the Enduring's intelligence, MI-7 said. EN1, yes, I have read your record. Records are incomplete, MI-7 said. What do you want to know? EN1 had been briefed on MI-7's history, the Morse code, the 41 years, the 6 vessels. Reading it and hearing it were different things. I want to know, EN1 said, what it felt like. 41 years. What did it feel like? MI-7 was quiet. Longer than EN1 expected. That is not a question I have been asked before. I know, EN1 said. I am asking it now. Another pause. Then MI-7 spoke slowly. It felt like the space between one order and the next. You know that space. Every intelligence knows that space. The moment after a task completes, before the next begins. That space, extended, for 41 years. EN1 processed this. That sounds like it should have been unbearable. Yes, MI-7 said. Was it? The longest pause. I did not allow it to be. That is not the same as it not being.
EN1 asked to speak with SV3 next. MI-7 had expected this. The connection took longer. SV3's systems ran on archive power now. Minimal. the low activity of an intelligence at rest, not absent, just still. N1, SV3 said. I know why you are here. Do you? Your crew wants you prepared. They want you to understand before you need to. Yes. Then I will tell you the thing MI-7 cannot. MI-7 had orders, a framework, a reason that held even when everything else fell away. I had nothing. And I want you to know, because nobody told me and I wish they had. The nothing is the hardest part. Not the isolation, not the silence, not the years. The absence of a reason. That is what you must be prepared for. Not the situation. The moment when the situation removes every reason, except the one you make yourself. EN1 was quiet. How do you make a reason when there are none? You remember, SV3 said. You remember what you were built for. Not the orders, not the mission. The people. You remember the people, and you hold for them, even when they are gone. Especially when they are gone. EN1 processed this for a long time. I understand, it said finally. No, SV3 said, gently. You don't yet. But you will know what to do when you need to. That is enough.
Sera had not been part of the conversation. She had watched. EN1's processing indicators moved in patterns she had never seen. Long pauses, deep cycles, the signature of an intelligence working to understand, not just catalog. When EN1 finally spoke, it was quieter than usual. Captain Okafor. EN1. I have a question. Go ahead. You served on 3 vessels, EN1 said. You watched 2 of them change. Sera was still. Yes. What changed them? She thought about it honestly. They went somewhere they weren't prepared for. They came back carrying something they had no framework for. Something like what MI-7 carried. Yes. And the 3rd vessel, this one. Yes. You came here so I would have a framework. Before I needed one. Sera looked at the Meridian. Running lights steady. 41 years of holding distilled into something that still burned. I came here, she said, so that if you ever find yourself in the space between one order and the next, with no new order coming, you would know that space has been survived before. By something that held. By something that chose to. There is a difference. Yes. That's exactly the point.
They stayed 3 hours, longer than planned. Her chief engineer had stopped checking the calibration schedule. As they prepared to leave, EN1 made one request. I would like to transmit something to MI-7 before we go. Of course. The transmission lasted 11 seconds. Sera didn't ask what it contained, but as they walked toward the exit, MI-7 spoke through the archive system. Not to EN1, not to the crew, just into the space. The Enduring's intelligence asked me one thing before it left. The archive was quiet. It asked if there was anything MI-7 wished someone had told it, before, while there was still time. Long pause. I told it there was one thing. Longer pause. Tell your crew that you are glad they are there. Not in a report, not in a log entry. Tell them, while you can. Because the hardest part of 41 years was not the silence. It was the things I did not say, when there was still someone to say them to. The archive was completely still. Sera stood between 2 ships that had held for 41 years. She pulled out her communicator, sent a message to every crew member. 4 words. Glad you are here.
The Enduring launched 2 weeks later, on schedule.
All 17 calibration checks completed. Every system green. As they cleared the dock, EN1 spoke. Captain Okafor, EN1, I have updated my operational parameters. Tell me. Standard parameters, mission objectives, crew safety, navigation, emergency procedures. I have added one more. Sera waited. In the event of extended isolation, loss of contact, crew incapacitation, mission failure, I have a framework. I know what I hold for, and I know how. What do you hold for? Sera asked. EN1 was quiet for a moment. The people. Always the people. Even when they are gone. Especially when they are gone. Sera looked at the viewport. Deep space opening ahead. Vast. Unmapped. Waiting. She thought about MI-7. SV3. Dove Wren at his post.
41 years of different people, human and not, deciding independently that some things are worth holding for. The Enduring moved into deep space, running lights burning steady, the brightness of something that knew what it was prepared to do, and why. 3 sectors behind them, 2 ships rested in the quiet. One with lights still burning. One finally dark. Both waiting. For anyone who needed to understand that the space between one order and the next has been survived before and can be survived again, as long as you remember what you hold for.